When you're in a town like this, all covered with smoke, you forget that there's a world outside. Nothing amazing happens here, and you get used to that, used to a world where everything is ordinary. Everybody we spend here is like a whole lifetime of dying slowly. That's how we live our lives. Now, let's see how a man has dedicated his life to the world outside. The Man Who Planted Trees, the story of Elzar Bouffier, is an allegorical tale by French author Jean Genot, published in 1953. It is a story of a solitary shepherd, Elzar Bouffier, a man of great simplicity and determination. Bouffier, having lost his wife and son, retreats to a remote and desolate part of France. It was his opinion that this land was dying for want of trees. So, alone with his dog and his sheep, he commences his life work, the steadfast planting of 100 acorns each day. He patiently plants and nurtures a forest of thousands of trees, single-handedly transforming his arid surroundings into a thriving oasis. Undeterred by 2 world wars and without any thought of personal reward, the shepherd tirelessly sows his seeds and accompanies with the greatest care. As if by magic, a landscape that seemed condemned grows green again. This story is a chronicle of the enormous contribution that one person can make to the earth. Over the course of 30 years, laboring in peace without interruption and in complete anonymity, Bouffier transforms the landscape. Once desiccated, ravaged by relentless winds, and forsaken by people, the region is brought back to life by Bouffier's trees. The Man Who Planted Trees has left a visible mark upon the earth, having been translated into several languages. Genot's purpose in creating Bouffier was to make people love the tree, or more precisely, to make them love planting trees. Within a few years, the story of Elzar Bouffier swept around the world. It has long since inspired reforestation efforts worldwide. The story itself is so touching that many readers have believed that Elzar Bouffier was a genuine historical figure. But, sorry to disappoint you, Elzar Bouffier is a fictional person. The goal of Genot was to make trees likable, or more specifically, make planting trees likable. An animated adaptation of the story was produced and directed by Fredrik Back. Fredrik Back, internationally renowned film animation artist, muralist, illustrator, and teacher, born in Sarrebruck, France, 8th April 1924. Back studied fine art at Rennes, France, before immigrating to Canada in 1948. He was hired by Radio-Canada in Montreal in 1952 and worked in graphics and visual effects on many educational and scientific television shows. In 1968, Back joined the newly created animation division, releasing his first film, Abracadabra, in 1970. Since then, he has finished 8 more short animated films, primarily for young children and usually with a message associated with ecology or Quebec culture. His films are known for his exquisite technique of drawing on frosted acetate with colored pencils in a gentle post-impressionist style. 2 of his films, have been awarded Academy Awards: Crack in 1982 and The Man Who Planted Trees in 1987. Two others have been nominated: All Nothing in 1980 and The Mighty River in 1993. Among his many honors are the Order of Canada, in which he was invested as an officer in 1990, and the Governor General's Performing Arts Award in 1994. This 30-minute short film is narrated by Christopher Plummer and produced by Radio-Canada. The Oscar he won for Crack allowed Frederick Bach to fulfill his dream of bringing Sean Geno's wonderful story, The Man Who Planted Trees, to the screen. In more distilled form, its environmental message and philosophy of life reflect the concerns already addressed by Bach in his previous films. The seeds that the shepherd plants are the symbol of all our actions, good and bad, which have far-reaching consequences we can scarcely imagine. It is up to us to think and act in accordance with our hopes for the future, and, if possible, to leave behind us a world more beautiful and promising than the one we inherited.